Good morning. Marka files. It's hilarious. How you doing, Carol and Sean? Good to see you. Or not see you, but read you, I guess. Still still trying to grasp. You only see me. I never see you, but it's good to know you're here. Hi, Claire. Good afternoon. It is wonderful to be here. Trev, good to see you. Rosalind, thank you for coming. Is it Rosalind or Roslyn? David Attenborough. That's crazy. I would not go that far, Sean. Sir David Attenborough is kind of a high mark for sure. That's right. It's a weird thing, Carol, doing these live streams, knowing that I'm just here with all of you and I'm just putting a lot of faith that it's actually you. Not so much actually you, but like you're out there watching me. It's a weird thing to. I remember when I first, Elsie, hi, how are you doing? Um, it's a weird thing when I first did my first live stream to kind of really kind of wrap your head around it. It's like, well, it's hard to just kind of know how to act when you are doing these things. It's definitely a different um, a different thing, really. Oh, Rosalind, I hope you're better. I hope you're feeling better for sure. Daniel, thank you for coming. Sean, do you feel like you are being stalked? No, I don't feel like I'm being stalked because I choose to do this. It's just a weird feeling when you first start doing it. And even now, even I don't know, this is what the sixth or fifth or sixth time we've done this. It's still not a natural feeling that to do these, at least not for me. And I'm speaking from somebody who doesn't mind being on camera, obviously, but it's still it's different when you're recording and reacting to a video or doing something else. No, but doing something live is just it's just an odd feeling. Even no matter, I assume it gets easier the more and more you do it, but it's still I get nervous, you know, palms get clammy. I'm looking at the clock. Okay, it starts at 7, counting down the minutes, you know. But thank you. I don't know if I'm a natural, but I'm certainly uh, a ham, as they would say. That I don't mind being on camera for sure. I think what helps me do these sort of things, or even in the regards of like public speaking, um, doing karaoke, oddly enough, singing in front of people, really, and I've been doing that for years, since in my 20s. So I think that really has helped me to still be able to get in front of people and talk, and certainly helps with this. Uh, Brave thing to do. I even hate doing FaceTime with family. So yeah, during the pandemic must have been a problem. Claire, that's funny. Uh, true, true. I don't mind, Sean. I don't mind the comments. I do get bad comments. Um, in fact, a funny story, not funny, I guess, too much, but there was a I'd put some older videos that I'd taken off a while back, and I put some older ones on when I got the permission of the original content creator. So then I put the ones that I'd already done back when I was doing it before getting permission from a lot of these people. And so some of the older comments came up, and these are from like 10 months, a year, almost 2 years ago. And it was one of the first ones I think I did. And one of the comments that appeared was, "You're not any good at this. You should not, you know, and you should stop doing reactions. You're just not good at it," or something along those lines. And I had I had to chuckle because he wasn't wrong. I was not good at it. I remember those earlier videos of reacting, not good. I just looked a fish out of water. I was not comfortable. I didn't really know how or what I was doing. So he wasn't wrong. And he basically told me I should just quit. And I just had to chuckle. I liked the comment. And I was just like, back then, he was not wrong. I was terrible. Mm. But I have to say, surprisingly, and now, as I've gotten to know a lot of you, not surprisingly, because you're all just wonderful human beings, a good 99% and even higher has all been positive. And I'm truly blessed for a lot of you. David, thanks for stopping by. You were Rosalind was there at the start. Oh, I wasn't good. Come on. You can be honest with me. It was it was brutal. It was brutal. I was suffering. Not I was so uncomfortable doing it at first. Now it's doing the videos is really easy, but man, those first days, especially when it was the rugby days, oh boy, it was tough. Found guilty. Oh, and jury service. That was. Oh wow, Trev. Yeah, that's a different. That is completely a different deal. I can get on these videos and not really. There isn't really too much of a outcome that has any sort of legal. You know what I mean? That's a completely different scenario. That's yes, can be very stressful and scary for sure. Um, Sean, yeah, I've I think at first it has huh, Sean is saying about being calm, doing a calm chat. I just think when I'm trying to learn something and it's not how do I put this? Do I want to say it's in my nature to be calm? I don't think so. I think I get pretty high strung when I'm talking to friends and stuff like that. But when I'm doing these videos, I feel, um, especially I'll tell you what it is. A lot of the subject matter that we're learning about and seeing, I think it has a lot to do with my demeanor because a lot of it is emotional, a lot of it is heartbreaking, and It's just trying to learn something from lots of times tragedy, like the video we just watched yesterday about the last uh, soldiers of World War I who were killed right at the end. It's just agonizing seeing these stories of these people at the very end when the thing is over, and it just tears you up sometimes that it doesn't elicit real out of character sort of commentary. It's just it hits you differently. I think that and we, we the channel is kind of goes. It's you know like this, so we'll be hitting up real hard hitting, heavy subject matter for a little bit, and then we tend to swerve, and it's more lighthearted, just walkthroughs and stuff like that. And I also up there's Leo. See, just walked into the kitchen. Um, you I just never was one to like make loud noises, I guess. I'm pretty calm, I guess. Yeah. Again, that all comes into play being on camera. Um, and just trying to find your footing sometimes. It doesn't for me, it doesn't elicit loud noises, screaming, you know. I think at the beginning I was like, "Whoa," or "Yeah," doing a rah rah, especially when it was like watching rugby and some of the gameplay there. But a lot of the videos we watch and learn from are pretty serious topics, and I don't know. That probably didn't even answer your question or your statement, but it is what it is. No, you have not missed big news, Daniel. It really isn't huge news. Um, I'm going to be interviewed by Arius the Nation next Saturday. So that's kind of a big deal for me, as I've always wanted to do the interviews, but someone actually wants to interview me, which is weird. Um, but it's going to be a lot of fun to be on the other side of the camera. Does that make sense? On the other side, getting questions and not asking them. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, though. Um, a lot of you told me about his channel. And so, yeah, excited to do it. Yeah, I remember, Carol. Thank you. It's very nice of you. Um, it's Carol says it's comforting listening to my voice. I do have a radio voice. This is my radio voice. You are listening to KLOS 95.1 on your dial. Um, I do have a recording voice, as you're hearing now. And of course, my voice in real life is probably nowhere near this, I imagine. Um, not, and it's not really done on purpose. It's just, I do notice when you are talking on camera, you try to slow it down. So people, you don't want to talk fast. And I think just by experience, um, and feedback over the couple years we've been doing this, um, it's kind of evolved into what it is now. I remember it was way back, and I can't remember who said it to me, but they said they could wish they had like a recording of me talking because it would they could like listen to it to fall asleep. And I had to laugh at that. And it was a compliment, totally. And I took it as such. And I just thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. So being interviewed, Arius the Nation next week. So yeah, I'm excited. I've checked out a bunch of his interviews on his channel, and it's really cool. I don't know if any for those who don't know, he does a lot of interviewing of other YouTubers, and just kind of has a real easy-going free-form chat, and that's what I enjoy. And we don't, our channel is not that big in the grand scheme of things. He's done people with over 100,000 subscribers and stuff like that, which is just phenomenal for him. Um, and then he's gonna, you know, throw throw some questions out at me, and I just find it to be interesting. I do find that our channel is different than a lot of others. The genre of reacting is massive, and there is a ton of uh, reaction channels out there, and I think they really serve a purpose. I think they're probably looked down upon amongst some of the YouTube community, which is fine. And I can see their angle, but what they don't realize, the ones that are anti-reaction channels, is there's a sense that people have when you love something or you're proud of something, and someone from another country, which is mostly what it is watching it for the first time, watching something that you love, respect, are proud of, and so on, and you want them to feel the same as you, or experience what you know you've always experienced. I just think there's a lot to learn from that, and there's a lot to, and you can see why it's popular. I watch reaction channels um, all the time. I watch a lot of Brits experiencing when they come over to the states. It's it's something that and it's almost like you want to share it with people. So but you can't physically do that. You can't, So this is kind of a way of one person going, "This is what I love. I think you would love it as well. Let me know what you think," kind of a thing. And there's a lot to that. Keep calm. That's right. Yeah, it was sad, Carol, to know that, and to know that people are still dying after a certain time. I kind of understand and kind of understood why they set a time, um, instead of just saying it's over now, let everybody know to stop. It's done. Instead of saying at 11 o'clock in a few hours, the communication probably takes time to get it to everybody. But still, but at the end of the video where they were talking about the two graves of the first one reportedly killed and the last one, and this is just in the British cemetery, um, facing each other, 7 meters or 10 yards or whatever, and a million people, you know, in between them, is just, that really hit home. You're just like, wow, devastating. Sean asks, future on British stuff, or do you think you will go towards Europe? That's that's a question that I've asked myself, and I think I'm just here's the story, Sean. When I first switched over to from rugby, started doing culture and history, and just the to where we're at now. My intention was, okay, I'm going to learn about the UK and its history, and all that wonderful stuff. And then I would, after a certain point, I would then move on to, say, Australia or France or wherever, and start doing the same thing. Learn about, and then so I had this like idea in my head, is like, what a great way to learn about other places that I've never been, and learning as much as I can. But as you know, it's not easy to just dip into British history, culture, and its people, and then dip out. There's so much. Here I am 2 years or more later, and I haven't even scratched the surface. And there's just so much, and I'm enjoying myself so much on this journey that I honestly I don't see myself jumping off this train. You know, I'm just gonna kind of stay the course and see where it takes me. It's been just an amazing ride, going through all the just ups and downs. And there's so much history, obviously. It's just you can't just dip your toe in. Yeah, I'm just trying to take as much in as I can. And I honestly, there's probably never an ending to it. It just keeps going and going and going. There's so much of it. Now, if I was doing that with the United States, yeah, there's definitely would be an ending to it. Not very country hasn't been around in the grand scheme of things that very long, and you could see oneself getting to a point where, yeah, I think I kind of get it. You know, the whole American experience. Not the case with all of you. It is so massive of just things to learn and see, and it's actually pretty um, amazing still. You'd think after like 2.5 coming up on 3 years I would have kind of seen, and granted there are some things I have seen before or something like that, and that's fine. But lots of times even in those stories I'm seeing something new on top of, which may have been something I already covered. Something else is revealed, and I'm like, wow. And then that takes you down a separate branch to a whole new, mm, you know, adventure. It's just, yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Like I said, it's been wonderful. Hopefully that answers your question. That was long winded. Uh, just make sure he lets you get a word in. I'm sure he will. Um, that's funny. Daniel and Spencer. So yeah, he had a channel. Um, he had a channel, right? Or he does have a channel that does a lot of reaction videos. I've come across it and I've seen some, for sure. Yeah, they were really good. Hopefully, your interview with Daniel will push past 10,000. That is 10,000. That is, yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And here's the thing, I am going backwards. And I mentioned this, I think, in the last live stream. I was at like 98.50. Um, and going up, and I was like, I think 10,000, there's some sort of level at 10,000 or something that you hit with YouTube. I don't know what happens when you do, but obviously, but once I started removing videos, and it actually started right before that, to be honest with you. I started dropping, and now I'm steadily going down. So now I'm at like 997, maybe. So it's been about 100 subscribers have dropped off just in the last few months. I'm not sure how that happens. I know I'm sure there's many who have unsubscribed, um, which is fine. Um, but I also think YouTube, there's things with YouTube, people lose, it just unsubscribes you from channels. It happens to me all the time. I see channels that get reintroduced And I'm like, my gosh, I was a subscriber of this, and it says I'm not anymore. You hear stories like that all over the place. So I'm sure some of that is also contributing to that. So not sure, but hopefully, yeah, hopefully it'll get us past 10,000. It'd be great. Um, but again, this is kind of just been perfect where I'm at. And do I want more people to join our channel? Sure, sure, absolutely. But um, if no one else ever joins it and I'm stuck with all of you, I'd say that's a pretty good deal for me. David Attenborough, yes, he was perfect. I used to watch those Planet Earth docs with him. Yeah, just he was really good. Daniel, in my view, you are elite in reactors as you generally want to learn and do invest time to research rather than just cash in on what's popular. That is a true statement. I so many things go into that. I do want to learn, and I think that might set us apart from a lot of other people. I'm not saying other reaction channels want to learn as well. Um, I can't speak for them. I'm sure they all want to learn, and there's some really good ones out there, far better than me at doing this genre. Um, but I do a lot of I do a lot of topics that a lot of reactors do not do, and then because it might be on videos that nobody's ever really seen or aren't real popular or whatever. Um, we'll do every once in a while. We'll do a video that's real popular that a lot of reactors have done before. I think a lot of the stuff we cover isn't covered on many channels, which I think does set us apart in some way. But with that said, it also, you're not getting a lot of views because it doesn't interest a lot of people. So um, I'm here with all of you, which is great. So we're just going to keep plugging away. I need to go back up here. And thank you, Daniel, for the comment. It's very nice. Yeah, to cash in, um, do not make anything from this channel. I used to get when I was getting had more views. Excuse me. When I had more views on before, like a couple months ago, when all this downtrend started, I was making, I think, just over $100 a month. Just it was, and it would vary. It would jump to 150 and then go back down to 105. As soon as you get paid when you make over $100, YouTube pays you. I'm not quite sure why that's a some benchmark or whatever. It's haven't really understood why they do that, but they're nowadays I think I make like $50 a month, and so they don't pay you, and I pay for premium, and so we don't have commercials and adverts during our videos. And while I'm watching, I don't want to see adverts as well, so I don't mind paying that. And some streaming software that I'll use, or um, for interviews, I pay monthly for those. And so I certainly am not in this. This isn't a career for me, as we all know. This is just for me to learn and have fun and enjoy all of your company as well. I mean, how many people can say they've got all these friends that they can hang out with all the time? That's how I kind of look at it. But there are some reactors who this is what they do for a career. And so, yeah, God bless them. Hope they're all successful. Now, granted, I will say that there is a caveat. let's say we do a video and it goes viral and becomes, 1 million views, things may change. If all of a sudden, you know, I don't plan on that, and I'm not planning on that, and I don't do videos uh, angling towards that. We do videos, a lot of them are requested by all of you. We do a lot of videos that interest me, and a lot of it has to do with learning. So you don't get the wow factor on a lot of videos that you'll see a lot of reaction channels doing. But yeah, it all depends why you're doing it. You know, I had asked, as an example, I had asked a pretty popular reaction channel. They're from the States and they react to a lot of the videos that we've reacted to. And I asked them if they'd like to do an interview, because they're pretty successful. Not pretty success. They're real successful, I'll say. And they just were what it wasn't so much like, well, what's in it for me, or how, I'm a small channel wanting to take up their time, and they're so busy having to put out content because this is their job. They have to, so they had to really clarify, is like, well, how's this going to help our channel, kind of a thing, to have a talk with me. And because they just didn't have time to put aside when to doing something that wasn't going to help with the income of their channel. And I hadn't really thought of that when I was asking them, thinking, oh yeah, it didn't even dawn on me when I was asking them. So it's interesting to see the different uh, views on this channel. I'm so blessed that I can just put it out there and not worry about having to make a quota, make rent, a house payment, food, how am I going to pay for utilities? And I think that is what made our channel so special, is because this is just, hey, we're here for a purpose of learning and hanging out with some friends. There's no overarching agenda that I have to have so many clicks and views and stuff like that. So it's interesting. That really opened my eyes when I had that conversation with this person. And I'm like, yeah, I never really even thought of it like that. The work they put in to have to do videos every single day. And I mean, uh, wild. Let's see here. Trev, half the things I watch I'm starting to fall way behind here. Half the things I watch, thank you for that, are new to me as well. That's awesome. Working nights or never, uh, and at home to watch TV. That's awesome. And Trev, you've been an instrumental part to this channel. Um, I know you were over in Ukraine, or did you go? Have you? So are you back, or have you not left yet? You're heading over that way at some point, and hopefully your friend Jane is doing well. Um, Crazy. Rosalind, can I just make a comment about doing Europe? Yes, I would love to see it. Here we go. I used to be a moderator for another channel, and they did Europe, and they didn't get a lot of views. Oh, okay. I wonder why that is. You'll have to fill me in. Why? And the thought did cross my mind, is like, well, if I do France or Germany or whatever, yeah, it probably wouldn't be as popular. I wonder why that is. They have history just like everyone else, but you want to know a secret?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
It's my Amazon thing going off. One of the things I don't want to, I don't want to stop doing the UK and its history is then I'm going to lose probably a lot of you, um, and I don't want that. So I think you're stuck with me. Yeah, Claire, that is so true. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You got to learn all the warts and all, right? Um, Everything is not roses. There's some negativity, and it's hard to watch sometimes. Um, I remember watching, especially when something involves my country as well. Banbridge Bridge, is that what it's called? Banbridge. Um, that story really affected me because it's not something, of course, that's well known here, and seeing how um, that story played out was tough to watch. But I am a better person knowing about it and learning about it for sure. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Hardly watch TV now, rather. You. Uh, Thank you, Carol. Carol, you're awesome. 97.6. Okay. Yeah, it was much higher. That's for sure. We all learn together as you review topics sometimes we don't know anything about. Two-way street. Yes. That's, I think, maybe one of the more surprising things that I've learned when doing these videos, that so many of you are like, I didn't know that. I just assumed you all knew everything about everything. And early on, when getting feedback of you, a lot of you saying, "Oh, I didn't know that," or first time hearing this," or it just is like, okay, this has become, like you said, a two-way street, beneficial for a lot of it. And I think that maybe spurred a lot of, hey, this may be a well-known topic, but there's going to be one of you who maybe didn't know, or even better, who has more to add. You know, reading comments, and I read every comment. I may not reply to all of them. For some of you who don't know, I'll hit the heart button. Doesn't necessarily mean I like your comment. It just means I read it. I think I wish YouTube would have a red button so I can click that to let you know, excuse me, that I read it. And some people get confused, like I endorse the comment, because sometimes it's negative, and I'll still hit that heart button. Doesn't mean I agree with the comment, just means I read it. I wish they had a red. Anyway, and I'll usually like the post if I have time, and because this is just me, has nothing to do with you. I feel if I comment on one or if I reply to one of the comments, I've got to reply to all of them. So I don't want somebody to be left out, and that's just me, I guess. So I'm either going to reply to everyone, or I'm just going to read them and like them. Um, I wish there was a better way to explain that, but uh, I do read everyone. Now, if I had, like, some of these channels have over 100,000 people watching and commenting, there, who's to say that will continue? But as of right now, I read every single comment. Maybe not. Let me throw a wrench in that. I may not read every comment on that original comment. Does that make sense? If people start commenting on that particular and adding to that comment, I may not get back to it because I've already kind of moved forward and not really going back so much. And I'll get alerted somehow, some way, through, by chance. I'll read a someone's reply or something. I genuinely will get a reply. I'll get a notification for a reply to me. So I will see if you have more to say most of the time. Sometimes I do miss though, but I try to read everyone. I think it's important to hear what you all have to say because you adds a lot of context to a lot of the things I'm watching, and a lot of things go over my head. And I say one of the big ones is I pronounce words wrong. I names and places and name you know other just common things that I'll pronounce it wrong, and I love when you all help me try to say it correctly because I mean it's part of learning, right? I want to be able to pronounce it right. I think that's the first thing I should try to do is if I'm going to talk about something and learn something, learn how to pronounce it right. And I still struggle with some words for sure. Uh, let's see here. Glad to hear what fast. Yes. Okay. We all learn together. That is so right. Uh, hey, JJ. Good to see you. I'm so behind here. I've just been rambling. I apologize. YouTube is up to a lot of shenanigans. Yes. Were you, unsub? Yeah, it does unsub you for some reason. I'm not sure why they do that. It does give people the sense that they're trying to uh, mute popular channels or topics for sure. Glad you're here, JJ, for sure. I'm stuck with you, Sean. That's cool. Uh, no in particular. How are you? Other people have said if they don't comment or watch for a few times, they get unknowingly unsubscribed. I've had to resubscribe to about 5 channels that I was unsubscribed to. Yeah, it's a thing. It's not in our heads. We're not making this up. We're not imagining it. It's a thing. It really is. UK stuff is popular. Well, especially with Americans, because one, we speak, well, this is up for debate. Obviously, you all have a second opinion or a different opinion, I should say, that we speak the same language. But um, you're our closest relatives, right? So a lot of the things we learned about the UK, one, we can understand, um, and a lot of things uh, that we use today are invented, which is something that has really surprised me over the time doing these things with our channel. Is learning how many things that I use in my daily life that were invented in Britain, and uh, it's just amazing. So many marvels, modern marvels, the things that we just take for granted today. That's one of the things that always puts a smile on my face. And yeah, it's just, I think we're similar. It would be hard to learn something in German um, or with the Dutch. Um, so yeah, I would imagine that's why it's not as popular to do any of those other parts of Europe, except for like one-offs, you know. Stuck with you, Carol. That's okay. Hey, I love postcards. I really do. Thank you. Thank you, Claire. Uh, it's nice. It really is nice to read. Hmm. That's right. Very true, Sean. Very true. You're meeting Jane on Friday. Well, give her our love, and I'll say it from our channel. Um, I wish more people could watch that interview we did. I just think she has a lot of important things to say, and a lot of people need to hear it, no matter how you feel about what's going on there. Um, It's just there's a lot of, you know, it's not just the militaries fighting each other. There's a lot of other people involved, and just seeing it certainly opened my eyes that I wasn't really thinking about when you think about what's going on there. Trying to be very politically correct in what I'm saying. Is there, JJ, is there any restrictions on you playing more than a bit of music on your channel? I do. Well, you'll notice in some videos it goes muted, or you'll just be, it seems like when I'm talking, it's very quiet. It's because I've had to remove the song. They allow you, and when you do go through the YouTube uploading of a video, you have the ability, it'll flag music that is copyrighted, and it'll give you the opportunity to cut out the segment, the whole that the music's playing, or just remove the song altogether and leave all the other sounds, which is normally what I do. So you'll see it just kind of becomes unnatural sounding sometimes, and you just kind of hear my voice, or there'll just be long periods of nothing. It's me generally editing out music that is copyrighted. Sometimes there's so much music. For instance, the last video we did with Kirsten and York, um, and their English Village video, which was just wonderful, by the way. Um, the whole thing had music, and it was just, instead of just going through the whole removing of every single song, I just, it's now copyrighted the video. I don't get a strike or anything. It just means that people who have the music, it's copyrighted. So the video itself doesn't get any ad revenue, which is fine. Again, not here to make tons of money. So um, hopefully that answered your question. LC says, I've seen loads of reactors who started for fun, then started chasing subs and views. Yeah. Then it became work, then hard worked, and they lose the love and wonder. Yes. I'm aware of that. LC, I am aware of that. And hopefully that is not happening to me. I don't feel like it has. I'm not putting out videos every day. I'm still, hopefully, I'm not chasing that. I have a day job that I go to Monday through Friday. My wife works. She has an amazing job. She's actually just knocking it out of the park with her career. She's doing so well. That, but you're right. There is that lure, I imagine. If for whatever reason, it becomes, you see videos of people saying, I've quit my day job and I'm doing this full time. It's like, wow, that's a huge leap, because it can just be taken away from you just like that. It's a scary proposition to even think of doing this full time and relying on this. And that goes back to when I tried to get that interview with that one YouTuber who's really popular, who's an American who does videos on UK. They just didn't have time because it would cut into their, financial deal. So yeah, wild. I followed some channels. Travis asking, I followed some channels that went big and they started to go boring. And put the same stuff on, never reply to comments, and they have so many subs. I like the smaller channels more friendly. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's so much by like they've become unfriendly. It's just it becomes such the amount of work it takes to have to. I mean, like I said, I read every comment, so but it takes, yeah, I have to have time to sit and read every comment, and especially when a lot of you are adding context to the video that we've just watched. So it's not like I can just cruise over them. I got to sit and read, you know. Um, I remember, um, well, I'll just finish the thought is, yeah, you get really big. It becomes a machine at that point, and you're just trying to pump out as much as you can. And you're doing topics. That's the thing. You're doing topics that I think when you start, and is where I'm at right now, hope to stay. You're doing topics of stuff that interests you and others, and that we can learn from. I think when you get to 100,000 subscribers and you're doing reactions or requests all the time, and they're just going to be videos that a lot of people have already done. They're going to be, and while we'll still do uh, some of these videos on occasion because they're fun. It can't just be heavy topics all the time. Um, but they do mostly of what makes one better than the other. Why do British people hate Americans? So on and so forth. Those kind of videos. While interesting, not so much you can learn from per se, and not so much something that's interests me. Again, I'll still do something similar every once in a while for sure, just for fun. But it's not the center of what we do here. We like that affirmation sometimes. Yes, it's nice to see an American just draw history. Well, I am interested for sure because your history in Iran, the great big scheme of things, is my history. Thank you, Claire. Yes, that is true. Um, and I think especially when I did the ancestry DNA thing, it showed that literally all the places that I'm linked to, uh, barring 6%, it came out to like a total of 93%. And I haven't checked it in a while, and it may change now. It may have changed somewhat, but 93% of my ancestry came from the UK. And uh, so, how could I not want to learn more about where ultimately my ancestors came from? There was like, I think, 2%, 3% were uh, from like Dutch, and then the rest was like Germanic peoples or something to that extent. So I assume Vikings or some sort. Um, but yeah, 93%. I was blown away, and the majority of it was Scotland and England, the Midlands to be exact, Yorkshire, up in that area. So yeah, pretty wild. Carol, Carol, you're funny. Keep up the good fight, Carol. Bamber Bridge, thank you. Uh, I knew it was something. I was close, and that's the thing. That's the only problem about learning all of y'all's history is because there's just so much of it. It's hard to retain it. I don't know how many times I've learned about certain kings and queens and other dignitaries and royalty and so on and so forth. That when another subject that we do brings something up that relates to them, I cannot remember. It is so hard to remember names and places, and there's just so much history that just there's only so much room in this head that it's hard for me to retain a lot of information. But then out of the blue, something will just pop in and go, oh yeah, and I'll remember it. It's just bizarre how that works. I found out that they hide some comments, but the channel creator can still read them, which YouTube told me. Oh, yeah, okay. So I'll be able to read them, but the majority of you won't be able to. That's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing for sure. Um, Let's see here. Where are we? I'm so behind. I'm so behind. Sorry. Okay. John, welcome. Good to see you. With thousands of years of history, you can't know it all. That is so true. So true. A softie. Yeah. Yeah. I've been called worse. Thank you, David. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Thank you, Sean. Listen to me ramble. I don't know if you want me just to ramble, but Rosalind, thank you for coming. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you. I love how the chat will have chats within the chat, and sometimes not even include me. And I just love now being on the outside reading reading what you guys are all having to talk about. I love it. Absolutely love it. Chasing that YouTube plaque like their lives depend on it. Yeah, I'm never going to get one of those for sure. Arius is in the house. Daniel, thank you. Good to see you. Absolutely. I told them that I was going to have an interview with you next week. So and how I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate you. Um, thank you and look forward to our talk. Just passing through. Father duties to get to. Uh, absolutely. Understand, but thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. I love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the talk next week. I think it's going to be interesting. Um, it's different for me. I've never been interviewed before, so hopefully I don't ramble on too much. I'm trying to catch up for sure. Start having to employ admins to police their chat. Oh, uh, I'm not really into having someone police the chat. I think you should be able to say what you want to say. Really, a free speech guy. You should be able, even if it's negative, and I don't want it to be rude and derogatory, obviously, or God forbid, any of the other negative things. But definitely you should be able to, if you have a disagreement or you just, aren't happy with something I've said, you should be able to say it. Yeah. Or if you don't like the video or whatever, I'm really all about that. That's why I have set the setting to accept all comments. Whether or not YouTube allows all of them, I don't know. I am behind here. Jeez. Keep getting answered. This is awesome that I'm behind, that so many people are asking questions. A lot of this is you guys uh, talking to each other, which I love. It's great. From his own channel. Is that true? Oh my gosh. Arius was saying, Daniel, I guess, me too. I get unsubbed from my own channels. That's crazy. Wow. That's a long time. 1430. Not the DNA stuff, but the family tree. So like just with records and stuff like that is crazy. That's a lot of work. She's put a lot of work into that. Imagine to go as far back as 1700s. Nice. London on my mom's side, dad's side, Scotland, as my nan was from Falkirk. Cool. Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of the history that goes back there, it's just I don't really know anything more than just kind of locations of regions for me. I haven't paid the extra to really get deep, but it's the possibilities are just endless, I would imagine, of all the history that one could have seen. Wild. No, wow. Bishop of Gibraltar till a couple years ago now, Bishop of Sheffield. Nice. 93% a Brit. Probably the Viking and Germanic DNA would have been gained living in the UK, especially Yorkshire. In fact, I suspect, Mark, you are more of a Brit than I am. I don't know about that. JJ, I don't know about that. That would be crazy for me to say that, but that's funny. I do. YouTube curtain twitcher. Yep. Belgians, Dutch, and Germans are closely related to the British by repeated migrations and basic European stock. Well, it totally makes sense, right? Including Germanic and Saxon, so small percentages. So just suggests this. We're all family, right? We are. That's that's how I feel about our channel. Who agrees Mark should do a 2-hour video, ramble on, and fall asleep? Can you imagine listening to the sounds of the raindrops, using the outdoor as a backdrop to wonderful sleep? Yeah, I could do it. I can see my voice putting people to sleep for sure. Some unintended who want to go sleep. I just drive them to lay down. It's funny. Let's see here. That's funny. Uh, yeah. Are some of you still getting adverts just during our live stream? I think some of you are. It doesn't tell me any sort of ad is coming on or anything like that, but it doesn't let me turn them off. When I set up to do the live stream, it doesn't set. There's not a setting, at least I'm aware of, or have found, that turns off ads altogether. They got to put ads in everything. That's how YouTube makes money, after all. We'll email you about that family tree stuff. Yeah, please do. Sean, for any of you who don't know, you can always email me, markfromthestates at gmail.com. Folk doing movie reactions with thousands viewing them, you can get some wrongins in the thread. This is the 500,000 type membership. Yeah, absolutely. There's, and you get that many, 500,000. Holy moly, you're not reading all the comments. It's just impossible to do that. You wouldn't have time to do another video. You just spend time reading comments. I'm blessed that I'm still able to read all the comments, every single one. Maybe not a reply to a comment like I mentioned earlier, but I'm at least make the effort to read every single one. I'm sure I accidentally missed some. Yeah, my dad, he did. Elsie was asking about my father and his racing history. Yes, he was a race car driver back in the late 50s and 60s, open wheel. He loved uh, the racing. Um, oh gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. He never raced internationally. He just raced here in the States. But he had a lot of appreciation for that type of racing, like the old Formula One type racing, and all those drivers he would talk about from, of course, in Britain. And he loved British cars, and yeah, My dad was pretty remarkable. Thank you, Elsie, for making me think of him. That's great. Let's see. Okay, so you are getting adverts. Yeah, it's weird how some, and I'm assuming all of you don't pay the YouTube premium, so the ones that are not getting adverts just by chance are not getting them. So it's just weird. So Daniel says his family tree is 75% Scottish. Nice. But back to Robert Bruce and Stuart King. Whoa. English 25% goes to English kings, but there's so many as these nobles had many children. Yes. So much happened on your island. It's wild. It would almost be, I think it might at some point might be more rare if someone's family, if you were able to trace it all the way back, didn't interact in some historical event. That if you were to have a family tree that really didn't have any sort of connection to a historical event or person, I would probably figure that would be pretty rare. Sean, you pay for premium. Yeah, I do as well. Some of the Anglo-Saxon Jews come from Denmark 200 years before the Vikings, so there are two. Yeah, from there. So apparently, there is very little left over from the Romans. Interesting. No one. See you later. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you stopping by. What are we at right now? Just over an hour. Okay. I would terrible sleep pattern. That should do the trick. That's right. You have seen. Have you seen any of this year's Goodwood revival? It's great if you enjoy classic racing cars. Good channel. No, I've never heard of that channel. Goodwood Revival. Now, the racing cars, classic racing cars, that was really my dad's thing. And I have to admit some regret. I wish I'd gotten more into it when he was alive and actively doing the vintage racing, the classic cars and stuff. I wasn't born yet when he was actually racing as a professional, but certainly around when he started doing like vintage racing, where you would race, the old cars, and and those were incredible weekends, and we would go to a bunch of trips and to these races. They call them historic races, vintage racing, and yeah, they're quite the event. A lot of fun, a lot of great memories. I wish I'd gotten more into it. Could have been something I could have shared with my father, for sure. Um, yeah, that's definitely something I regret. But I never really got into it per se. But I'll definitely check out the Goodwood Revival. In fact, I'll write it down so I don't forget, because I need to do that. Goodwood Revival. Thank you. I've heard a policeman once pulled a chap over for driving too fast and asked him who he thought he was. Sterling Moss. Yes, it was. In fact, it was Sterling Moss. That's funny. Yeah, Sterling Moss. Definitely have heard that name from my father many, 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 many times. He talked about him. Definitely one of his idols for sure. And I believe he's gotten to meet him too, or he got to meet him. It's funny. My mother could not get back any further than 1430, which was in Ireland. So many records destroyed during the job. Okay, that's a bummer. 1430 though, that's incredible. That's hard for me to wrap my head around, that you can actually trace someone back that far. It's crazy. Yeah, nobles were recorded, other people not so. Makes sense. Saw some of the classical double-decker buses at my local day in the park event. 1900s bus. We went and sat on the top deck. So cool. Yeah, that would be cool. When I do go to London, as you know, we are still planning on coming. Just don't know exactly when. But I do want to get on one of those and just do one of those touristy drive around London's on the top of bus. Of course, some of you may think I'm nuts. Some of you may think it's a great idea. I don't know, but I definitely want to do that, and it would be ideal. I know the buses are modern now, so it's not really kind of the classic, you know, double decker bus that you see the images of. They're more, but it's still be pretty cool. And if they still had some of the old ones running, that would be cool as well. Yes, please email me a link for sure. Again, the email for those who don't know, which is in along with my home address, not my home address, but my PO box. I live basically right next to the PO box. Um, is in the description of every video. Just got to scroll down a little bit, and of course, you'll see the links to all the creators that we do. I really try to make an effort to give them, um, to push their channel and videos. It's really important that we support them for allowing us to learn from their channel, right? So, yeah, I know I say it in every video, but it's something that I feel is really important that we do. My stepfather pulled over Sterling Moss on the 7th after the police. He became a driver for actors Sir John Mills down in. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, the hop on, hop off bus does a Circle of London tickets. Wow. They last 24 hours. You don't say. That's incredible. I didn't know that. I was just thinking like you're just on the bus and you just drive around and they just show you all the, landmarks or whatever. But you can actually there's ones where you hop on and hop off. So it's just more transportational. They're not giving you historical points of interest. But yeah, I mean, to get around town, what a cool way of doing it, especially if it's a good day. It's not raining. It'd be interesting if I go and it doesn't rain. I'd be kind of disappointed in a way. That's wild. All right. Have I missed anybody's comment? I think I'm caught up here. I think I got everybody's, or at least read everybody's. Anybody else new in the chat right now that I have missed? I don't think so. The front seat on top is still everyone's favorite for a cheap tour if you choose the right route. Okay. Yeah. It would be ideal to want to sit on top, right? That's right, Elsie. It'll be historical. That's right. From the Who Do You Are program, they did the family tree of the Cockney actor Daniel Dyer and found Edward III. So you never know who might turn up. Yeah, that's got to be very interesting, if especially from where all of you are at, to just have these connections to these larger than life historical figures. It just must be such a wow moment. I obviously would never expect something like that, but just crazy to find that. That'd be awesome. They give you points of interest. Headphones, get off at Big Ben, get back to the next landmark. We'll email you some stuff. Okay, thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. Yes, the email again is markfromthestates at gmail.com. Um, if you want to send me an email. And emails are a whole nother animal. I get tons of emails and I try to respond to everyone, most of them. But I do read them. So just know if I haven't responded yet, I'll get to it. I'll get there. I'm sure, long line of peasants. I'm right there, Claire, for sure. I believe that's probably a long line of a joke would always be in our family. We're from a long line of because we have a lot of how should I say people who like the liquor, the alcoholic beverage. We're from a long line of alcoholics for sure. Okay, Sean, thank you. No, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. But peasant, but proud. Well, you got to take a, word for the peasants. Uh, they did all the work, right? You guys built the land to what it is today. Common as muck. uh, many kings began as peasants. There you go. I figure we'll go for another 15 minutes or so. Is that okay with everybody? Irish LC, Irish nobility. You guys are all so hilarious. It's funny. Yes, Trev, I know the feeling. Um, one of these days, we're all just going to have a real serious conversation. Um, it's, yeah, it's going to be interesting these next few months, especially on my side of the water here. We're going to see what's going to happen here. Let's see here. You'll like the beverage. Yes, I do like the beverage. Definitely aristocratic. They like their booze a little too much. I'm not an everyday drinker. So normally I will not drink anything during the week. But come Friday and Saturday, and maybe on a Sunday, like today, we're having a barbecue here at my house we're having people over to watch football. So I'll definitely have some adult beverages, but normally I don't drink during the week. I don't crave it. But Friday and Saturday, I'll have some wine. I'll have a beer or two. Yeah, it's great watching football and having uh, wine or beer for sure. There you go. Yeah, Claire, I'm rich in other ways, health, loving family, etc., but it don't pay the bills. No, it doesn't pay the bills. Um, but if you can get yourself into a good position to where you have all those, it's that's still wonderful. Still wonderful. Yeah, I'm blessed with a wonderful family. In fact, my son is sleeping on the couch right over here. Probably having a dream about our live stream because it's just seeping into his head as I'm talking. He's got friends over who stayed the night, and they're all in his room sleeping and in our guest room. So he's stuck out on the couch listening to our whole conversation and trying to sleep, I'm sure. But I'm truly blessed with family and relatively healthy. I went and had more blood work done. It all came back wonderful, except for my lipids. And that's because my diet, as you can see, is not the greatest. So that is the one negative out of everything else. Lungs are good, heart is good, all my other levels are good. Just need to eat better. But man, I just love food. I do. Uh, not to the point where I'm a foodie, but I do enjoy a good meal and snack. But it is what it is. Yes. Um, well, before I get to that, have I watched any more football? I have not. Um, Soccer, and I've been told I can use soccer and not have to change, considering that soccer is what you used to call your football before, and soccer is a British word. So I'm going to just use soccer to differentiate between American football and your football. Do I watch soccer? No, I did a little while ago when American football, the NFL, and college football here. But once it started, I'm strictly watching that on the weekends. College play on Saturday. Excuse me, college play Saturday, and the pros NFL is on Sundays. In a couple weeks, they're going to be at Tottenham, um, and for like 3 straight weeks in October. They're going to be at Tottenham 2 weekends in a row, and then I think they play a game in Wembley. If you uh, if you ever want to go, you should go um, and check it out. And then that way you can let me know what you thought. I would love to go. That would be so much fun to go to Tottenham to watch an NFL game. That'd be great. Best joke tonight: serious conversation with a Brit. Our humor band will never happen. Yeah, that's why I love all of you, because of your banter and sense of humor. It's awesome. People are too serious here in the States. It's hard to have conversations other than, the people, your family and friends, of course, but just randos. You just don't know. It's weird. It'd be interesting to have a job where folk give you free clothing and seats at football games. It would be. It'd be great though if it was free. Thank you, Elsie. You're very nice to say that. It's very cool. John, who could you possibly mean? Uh, yeah, John, who do you mean? Yeah, okay, Daniel, that's good. That's a good clarification. I don't, I'm not. Again, I'm not a big like dessert guy, so I tend not to eat dessert after I would rather go back for second of the dinner or the entree or whatever we're eating. Um, I'd rather do that than actually have dessert. Now, I love your all your chocolate. Oh, so good. But if I had to choose between chocolate and a second plate, I would tend to go with the second plate for sure. But yeah, definitely food is too much of a good thing. Dad was giving whiskey for he came home after work and asked where it was. Mom had thrown it all away. It was 2 weeks old. Oh my gosh, I bet your dad was not happy about that. Sense of humor these days. That is Claire. That is hitting it right on the head. People have lost their minds. There are some people, and we were just talking about this, my wife and I last night. There are some people who are truly broken with the pandemic, just broke them. I don't know what it was, but they don't have a sense of humor. It just seems like they're always mad, they're always upset, they're always just triggered, if to use that word. It's just like, what happened? And they it just doesn't seem like they get any joy from life anymore. That there's always something. They always have a grievance on something. It's like, man, I hope I never get there. That's just a tough way to live, to go through life is just bitter and angry or hurt. You know, it's just I just don't get it. But it's definitely, it all happened around the pandemic and being stuck at home, and it just broke some people. And I hope they can get out of it, because you know them before the pandemic and who they were before the pandemic, and after the pandemic they're just like a completely different person, and you're just like, wow, what happened? I mean, we all experienced the pandemic, but some people, it just, you know really hit them hard. I gotta try that Sunday roast. I gotta do that. Need a sense. Maybe I can ask my wife Jennifer if she will make Sunday roast. You don't want me making it, but maybe if I can get her to uh, make Sunday roast and do a traditional British Sunday dinner, and I can film her doing it, and show you all how that turned out. I think that's a great idea. I'm gonna ask her if she'll do it. True Brit took my wife for Sunday roast, a couple beers, had a chicken sandwich. Well, we've not. Yep. Um, I can't say that I've ever had chicken uh, tikka masala. That's the Indian dish, right? So I can't say I don't eat. We don't have too many Indian restaurants around where I live. There are a few, but I've never eaten at one. So I can't say I've actually had that before. I actually do work for a guy who owns a couple of Indian restaurants. Um, did some IT stuff for him, and he's from India. And they've offered me food sometimes, like when I'm working there. And I've been in their attic of the restaurant, and I've seen what's up in the attic. And I always said, no, I'm not eating here. You see rodent poop and stuff. There's no rodents up there, but there were at one time. And I'm like, yeah, not going to do it. Eat porridge lowers cholesterol. Really? And cut down on coffee. That can raise. Carol, I don't think I can give up coffee. I just don't. I do have high cholesterol though. I take uh, some medication for my cholesterol. My mom had it. Her mom had it, had high cholesterol. So I just been taking that, and it lowers it. So my cholesterol isn't high when I take my blood work and stuff. So everything is all good. But I do take the cholesterol medicine. And my eyes. Uh, I went and saw my eye doctor, and they've now prescribed some of these eye vitamins. So I've got to take uh, two of those a day, and it's basically, I have what's called dry macular degeneration. Macular degeneration, is that how you say it? And it's dry, so there's not fluid in the back of my eye, but there is something going on. So they said the only thing really is take these eye vitamins. So that's what I'm doing there. So that's awesome. Porridge, though. So is that a lot? I can't say I've ever had porridge. I've had oatmeal. Is that similar? Everyone is watching what they say now is miserable. Yes, Trev, exactly. It just blows me away. We're we're not stopping here, by the way, even though it's been 15 minutes. We're gonna just keep going. As long as you all have things you want to talk about, I'm here to talk. So we'll just keep going. Like I did say though, I have to quit when the NFL games start, and that's in like an hour or so. Um, it just broke them. It's so weird. And these were people we were close to, so we knew who they were before. And you just see it, and it almost breaks my heart because you're just like, gosh, terrible. Sense of humor is our way of life. Worked in hospitals through COVID. Our sense of humor helped get through. I was clean. You know, and I started doing our channel in COVID. Um, so, I mean, if there's a good thing that came out of it, it's definitely our channel. Started wanting to learn the game of rugby, um, and then found all of your sense of humor, and I absolutely love it. So maybe you've all helped me to not be broken. Definitely. I can make the Yorkies. That's the Yorkshire pudding, I'm assuming you're referring to. I have made, that's right, I have made Yorkshire pudding, and I really thought I did a great job. It was from a mix. I think the next time we'd want to do it from scratch. That Brexit did that here. Bit of Scots independent vote. People have hard attitudes. Yeah, yeah. Brexit, I assume, was a big deal for a lot of people, and I still hear it referenced all the time. Um, so yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Have one on my channel not edited. I'm not sure what that means. Have one on my channel not edited. You'll have to explain that, Sean. I'm not sure what that means. If you're even talking to me, I don't know. You could be responding to somebody else. Uh, oh, wait. Maybe I should go back and read. It's a sense of humor is way alive. I lost a couple of sense of humor. I'll just get through. I was a cleaner in accident and emergency. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And when you do have those kind of careers where it's so you see literally like everybody's worst day of their life, yeah, like a police officer or emergency tech, ambulance, doctor, nurse, emergency room people. You're just seeing people on their worst days. You have to have a sense of humor for sure. Um, let's see here. Sunday roast and chicken, homemade. Okay. Love a roast has to be Claire's favorite. Your son works in an old pub and they do a fab roast. Now that's the thing. That's I would love to go experience that in a pub. uh, I hear the pubs have great Sunday roasts. I think I definitely want to get her to try to do that for sure. Thank you for the email. Appreciate that. Tea cures all. I just can't drink tea, Sean. I'm so sorry. And I probably lost a lot of you. Um, I just can't drink tea. It's not good. I don't. I haven't, well, at least I haven't found one that I enjoy yet. I'm sticking with coffee, even though it's probably terrible for me. I'm going for blood test tomorrow to recheck cholesterol to see if I need to change my porridge. Is basically oatmeal. Okay, that's what I thought. I actually like oatmeal, so I could totally do that. And I know oatmeal is good for the heart, good for the cholesterol and all that business. So I should. I do need to change my diet. I need to drop some weight. It's you feel it on your back, your knees, just everyday things that is harder to do. You know. Plus, I want to look better for my wife. just a lot of things. Let's see, I can never get Yorkshire puds right. I thought my friend, if all of you saw that video of me making the Yorkshire pudding, they weren't like big and like you would see normally. They kind of deflated, but man, they tasted good. They didn't look pretty, but man, they were good. I enjoyed them with butter. Mm, I could just imagine using them with gravy and yeah, yum, yum, yum. Any tips? Well, yeah. So if you have uh, any tips for Claire on better Yorkshire puddings? Let the batter rest. Like so, like before, once you mix everything up, before you put it in the oven, let it rest first before you pour it on the pan and put it in the oven. Okay. I'm assuming that's what that means. Try roast lamb with mint sauce. Ooh. I mean, I'm willing to try most of anything, really. That's the same, Trev. That's the same package that was sent to me. It was one of you who sent me the mix, and it was Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire pudding. So that's the kind I made. Hot oil thing. Use 2 eggs. Mix your stuff. Keep 1 egg back. Oven on max just before you put it in oven. Add the last egg. That's the rise. Put in hot oven on max after 20 minutes. I'm going to probably have to try it again, I guess. Buy a smaller plate. Well, as you know, Elsie, when you go out to dinner here in the States, our food portion, because let's face it, a lot of us are overweight. Um, it's not as much as you would imagine, though. We have a stereotype that most Americans are overweight. It's not really like that. We have 370 million people here. I but there are a lot of overweight people, not denying that, me being one of them. Our food portions are so large when you go out to eat. It's just it's just normal for the plates to be huge. Um, but at home, when you are free to get up and get more, that's where I have problems. Uh, One of the things my wife and I like to do sometimes is split a meal. More cooking tips here. I love this. This is great. We're helping everybody become better chefs. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, cataract's not good. It's tough. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to, at some point here, change the diet for sure. Good luck, Claire. Good luck. Right. It's okay. It's okay. Sean, that's all right. You can totally talk to everybody. That's what I love about our chats because it's not just me doing a question and answer. A lot of you talk to each other, and it's our channel, so should be about all of us. Mint sauce. I'm just not. Yeah, I'm just not on the mint sauce. I'm sure it's probably pretty good, but just doesn't sound appealing. with the mint. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'd asked a post the other day about call the midwife. My wife says thank you to everybody who responded. Um, yeah, she's really into that show. She likes it. And a lot of you gave other suggestions as well that I'll pass along. So thank you. I forgot to thank everybody for their input on that. I'm not watching it myself. I'm usually going to sleep as she's watching it, so it's the last thing I hear as I doze off. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking like mint flavor, like breath mint. So it's not that. Okay, good. And like I said, I'll totally try it. Claire, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Um, I'm truly blessed. Thank you to all of you for coming out and hanging out. We will definitely have another live stream next month. I think it's working really well, just doing them once a month. Um, but yeah, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up today, so I can let my son finish his sleep, I guess. But thank you to all of you for coming out and hanging out with me today. It's such an honor to have you all come by and hang out. Gotta say, love the Sunday hangouts, right? So there'll be more videos this week. Of course, please, if you have suggestions, send them my way. You know how to do that. And you guys are amazing. Thank you to all of you. We'll see you later. Okay. Bye.